Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the moon sextile or trine Pluto in a natal chart. First off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They're a little bit concise and some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, people, first thing up is, well, if you have the moon sextile or trine Pluto in a natal chart, you may easily meet the need, which is the moon, to attain power and control, which is Pluto. You've got Pluto in the first house, and it could be power and control just simply over your physical body, new beginnings. It can be, if you have Pluto in the fifth house, that could be power and control in matters with your romantic relationships, children, matters pertaining to investment, speculation, as some examples. Now, also, if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart, another way it may manifest is having the right passion and desire, the right amount of that, which is Pluto, to attain the emotional needs, which is the moon. Now, if the moon is in Aquarius, as an example, those emotional needs may be tied in with group-related matters. It could be simply attaining goals and aspirations or friendships. It could be something associated with astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, um, even rocket science. It could just be model rockets as a hobby. Um, Now, another way these aspects may be expressed in a natal chart, you may readily be able to control, which is Pluto, the emotions, which is the moon. Now, if the moon is in Pisces, say, those emotions may be, chaotic at times. The moon in Scorpio could be very powerful and intense emotions, but yet convoluted as well. But keep in mind, moon in Scorpio can have a certain ability to control the emotions, by the placement by itself. But if you have the moon sextile or trine, it could really, reaffirm and reinforce that energy. Now, another thing too, about the moon sextile or trine Pluto in a natal chart is that it may be easy to be, emotionally, just the moon vested, in matters, with crisis situations, which is Pluto, or, anything else that's connected with Pluto, whether it could be matters pertaining to wills, insurance, taxes, support, shared resources, transformation, intimate connections, um, even establishing some kind of legacy, as some examples. And the thing is, if Pluto is in the fourth house, there may be some, whether it's proclivity or what have you, to have, crisis situations. They may be more in the home or connected with the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. It may be more, those crisis situations may be more prevalent in the latter part of one's life, as some examples. If Pluto falls in the sixth house is another example. Crisis-related situations, upheavals may be more connected with one's health. It could even be more in the daily routine. It could involve an aunt or an uncle, maybe something, a situation, at your work or place of employment, as some examples. Now, another thing about the moon sextile or trine Pluto in a natal chart could also manifest in really being auspicious, in terms of support, which is Pluto, to and from the mother and family, which is the moon. Whether it's moral, emotional, or monetary support. If Pluto falls the second house, that could really emphasize, support of a, monetary nature. Pluto in the third, there may be more support, just in general with communications or for short journeys, whether it could be, someone running errands for you. It could be work on your vehicle, as some examples. Now, another thing too about, the moon sextile or trine Pluto in a natal chart, if even something just simple like trying to get a loan, which is, connected with Pluto, for a home, which is the moon, it can be done. There's a greater chance of that being done with little difficulty. If you're in a position, or if you're that's something that interests you, there's that, this is a good aspect where there'd be less, resistance likely on average, where you have that greater propensity to be able, to get that loan for the home, if it's something that you're looking at or something that you want to do. And another thing, what's very auspicious about these aspects, it could also give good insight and intuition, which is the moon, in terms of, detecting manipulation, jealousy, corruption, which is Pluto. You may be able to detect, some kind of manipulation from somebody, being able to go beyond, subterfuge, superficiality. This is where, you can have, very good insight and intuition in those matters. If you Pluto, if you're looking at, this Pluto in the third house, there may be some tendency toward, manipulation. It could be from siblings, cousins, neighbors, people that are prominent in short journeys. If Pluto is in the 10th house is another example. It could be from people that are prominent in your career. It could be older people, authority figures, the dominant parent, which is often a father, as some examples. Now also too, these aspects can be very favorable and auspicious for nurturing and caring, which is the moon, for your intimate connections, which is Pluto. Now, let's say if the moon is in Gemini, as an example, there may be, a lot of nurturing and caring, done through, through mental stimulation, you know, um, helping the intimate, connection of partner learn from you through just simply through communication. It could be matters with short journeys or, manual dexterity, which can include, working on vehicles or refrigerators, as some examples. And also, too, these aspects can indicate good instincts, which is the moon, on matters associated with surgery and trauma, which is Pluto. Now, if you have, like, say, Pluto and Virgo as an example, there may be, some propensity for surgery and trauma, connected with the spleen or abdomen or intestines, as some examples, pancreas. Now, if you have another thing too, is, and I would say especially if Pluto is in the first or sixth house in the natal chart, because the first house corresponds with the physical body, sixth house is the house connected with physical health. Now, another thing about these aspects, that it can be propitious to get safety and security, which is the moon, to deal with crime and corruption, which is Pluto. If Pluto is in the third house, as an example, it could be dealing with, more crime and corruption in your own neighborhood. It could be, if you have Pluto, in your fifth house, it may impact, your enjoyment a little bit more so than most people on average. And also to Pluto related people, may could be more compatible, with the unconscious side, which is the moon. If the moon is in Sagittarius, As an example, the unconscious side can be one that's very jovial, jocular, optimistic, expansive, upbeat, philosophical, but could be very blunt and tactless as well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.